John Durham testified before Congress, the House Judiciary Committee, on Wednesday, yesterday. And in some ways, I followed this with very mixed feelings because it was clearly the last chapter of this very drawn-out, extended Durham inquiry, an inquiry that at the end produced not a whole lot. A report, but not really what Durham was tasked with doing. He was tasked with looking widely at issues of corruption, of the actions of the police agencies of government, the actions of the Hillary Clinton campaign, perhaps the actions of Obama. And Durham failed. I mean, he neglected his job. He was ultimately a disappointment and a dud. Now, to watch him preening up there, and in fact, even some of the news articles, Durham, lays it all out, Durham doesn't hold back. Well, when you're a special counsel, not holding back in testimony is one thing, but you're not supposed to hold back in your prosecutorial authority and in your actual investigation. And unfortunately, this is where Durham, I think, has failed not only us, but really failed the country. And in that sense, worsened and intensified the problems that we face as a society, problems with dual standards of justice and all the rest. So in that sense, I think the whole thing has been a sordid and sorry chapter in recent American history. One interesting detail emerged yesterday from Durham's testimony that I want to focus on because it is significant in and of itself. And that is, it is a detail that says that in 2016, the CIA received intelligence which was shared with the FBI and was shared with Obama and with Joe Biden and with leading figures in the White House. And to the effect that the project to get Trump on Russia collusion, the idea that Trump was a Russian asset, was an idea originating with Hillary Clinton and the Clinton campaign. So let's digest this for a moment, because what Durham is saying is that it is not the case that the FBI was misled about this. They thought that Trump was a Russian asset. They proceeded on that basis with kind of the honest belief. No, the FBI was informed by the CIA in 2016, listen, the people who are cooking up this scheme to paint Trump as a Russian asset is none other than his political opponent, the rival political campaign. And it wasn't just that the FBI knew about this and ignored it. Ignored is actually Durham's term. But there was a meeting in the White House with Obama and Joe Biden, and a lot of the top brass of the White House was there as well. And James Clapper, who was at that point representing the CIA and conveying the intelligence from the CIA, James Clapper told everybody in the room, I'm sorry, it wasn't actually Clapper, it was CIA Director John Brennan. CIA Director John Brennan notified the group, including Obama, including Biden, that, hey, this is a Clinton campaign idea. And so right away, these guys should have been on high alert, should have recognized that, listen, it's not their job to advance one campaign over another. It's not their job to use the police apparatus of the government to go after a rival political candidate. But this just shows the bottomless dishonesty of Obama, of Biden, of James Comey, who was also in the room. The point is that they knew. They all knew. They were all in on it. So here is Durham telling us something that we have long suspected, that this was a conscious, intentional, deliberate project to get Trump. But he's stating it matter-of-factly. And the problem I have with Durham is that you say something like this, and then you have to ask, but what conclusion do you draw from it? And Durham draws the narrowest of conclusions. Well, what this really shows us is that the FBI needs to be a little bit more careful in the future. The FBI in this case, well, let me just read from Durham because you get a feeling of the type of rhetoric we're getting from this guy. Quote, the FBI was too willing to accept and use politically funded and uncorroborated opposition research. Well, yeah, they were too willing to do it, but it's one thing for them to say that they dropped their normal high standards. It's another thing to say that they were part of a cabal that was trying to undermine Trump, prevent him from getting elected, interfere in the 2016 election, deprive the American people of their choice of who the president should be. So this kind of lame platitude, this boilerplate rhetoric coming from Durham, I think is a massive disappointment and a dereliction of duty on his part. We are seeing corruption at the highest levels of government, and the people in the position to do something about it, in this case, one John Durham, have fallen woefully short.